So I just got this short throw shift adapter from Mojo Manufacturing in the mail. These guys have a website, and also I got this one off of eBay, but for the Fiesta ST, this so far is the cheapest adapter like this I've seen. It's only $50 plus $5 shipping, and quality actually looks better than some of the other offerings out there. It's made in America by a machinist, and I just got some other products, got some neat videos with CNC machining. So yeah, it looks like a good quality piece. Comes with a little Loctite too, which is pretty neat. I don't know if a lot of other people that are doing these even bother to ship you a Loctite for it, so that's pretty cool. And he actually gives you instructions with a torque spec, so you know, kind of made by a small business here in America, and I feel like they give you more for less. It's kind of rare. So to put this guy in, gotta walk across to the front driveway here. We gotta, at the very least, remove the airbox and the intake tube, or at least move it up, but it seems like the recommendation is to remove the battery and the battery tray as well. So I'm gonna first pull the airbox and tube and see what I've got for access, and then go from there. The other thing it says is you should have the car in first gear when you're going to install this. So we're gonna see what kind of access we get by removing the airbox and intake tube, and see if we need a little more by pulling the battery and battery tray. So we have the airbox and intake tube out. You can see right here is the part we gotta pop off for the shift linkage. And I think the access isn't great, but I think we have enough. I'd rather do it from here than have to take the whole battery and tray out. There's quite a bit going on here. I got all the wire harnesses attached, so I think we're gonna pop off this this line for the evap tubes. I think we just drop it off, kind of get it out of the way, kind of like how we put it in the other video. Not even sure if I really need to pop the electrical connection, but we'll see what we can do with that guy free. See if we can get it in there, and if not, we can always take the battery out. So it turns out that it's probably going to be easier to take the battery and battery tray out, because trying to get leverage to pop this guy off isn't the easiest. It'd just be nicer to have a little more room. So you got to remove both terminals in the battery. Battery tie down is a 10mm. Terminals are 10mm, and then the ground strap over here, just to get you clearance across, this is an 8mm. So once we have that off, we'll get to the bolts in the tray. Okay, with the battery out, you have 3 10mm bolts. You get the tray free, and then we're just going to try to tip it up out of the way. We'll see what kind of slack we get from the ECU when we get it up out of the way. So you don't have to fool around with leaning any cables forward or anything goofy like that. This cover on the side, the ECU cover, comes off with just one little pop clip, threaded pop clip, and then the connectors for this guy. There's a tab, locking tab at the top. You push it down, and then you can swing this gray bar out, and it should release the ECU connector. And then we can just remove this whole box once we get both ECU connectors off, and just get it out of the way so nothing gets banged up. Okay, so once you have the battery box unbolted, you can sling it around to the front side, and then work on that shift linkage point from the side here. I think we'll have more room. I tried taking the ECU off, taking the box out, and having the ECU attached to it, but the connectors, this metal sheet here, this metal plate here, gets in the way of the connector releases, so you have to take the whole thing off and then demate it, and that's just not worth it. We should have plenty of access from the side here. So once you have access in here, one other thing is this evap line or vacuum line up here. You're going to want to either pop it from the clip or disconnect it from the engine to allow you to clear this box through without getting all hung up on it. So once we pop this guy off the linkage here, I tried using a plastic pry tool. You need a little more leverage, so I use a flathead screwdriver. Pop it off, and we're going to go ahead and get the bracket aligned and Loctite it down. Okay, so now you want to go ahead and put some Loctite on the end of your your bolts. It's a 5mm hex. Run the bolt on the first side of it. You kind of open it up like a sandwich, and kind of get this guy out of the way, but you can see you kind of get it lined up with the bolt on the end. The ball end, the factory ball end, should fit in this pocket. And I got this guy in, so now I'm going to go ahead. Helps you get the other bolts lined up. So I'm going to go ahead and run the other 2 bolts in. And you're supposed to pull it towards the shoulder as you're torquing it. And the torque is 4 to 6 foot-pounds, which I'm going to hit it right in the middle of 5 foot-pounds, which is the same as 60 inch-pounds. Okay, now you can see the short shift brackets all nice and torqued in there. You're going to have to run around it a few times as you tighten it down. One end's going to loosen up a little bit. Just make sure you get it all snugged up and torqued up right. If you don't have a torque wrench, I think he recommends using a short Allen key. Yeah, I mean, you can use a small ratchet and tighten it up just about as good as hand tight will go, and that'll get you pretty close to the torque that they recommend for the installation. So I'm going to go ahead and pop the link back on the ball end and put everything back together in the reverse order. So quick little bit of information. Yeah, taking this box out, battery box made it a lot more accessible. Trying to get it from the inside, I'm sure, is quite possible, but it'd be a real pain to get some leverage in there to torque them down properly. So it's much easier this way.